Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and today we're going to make a Dollar Tree watermelon door hanger. So I grabbed one of these wood rounds from Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, a watermelon napkin from Dollar Tree, just one of the big round watermelons, a welcome sign from Dollar Tree also, and this is just a wooden one. I grabbed 6 wooden beads that I had on hand, some paints in green, red, and white. And then I also grabbed a bunch of different ribbons and some raffia to make a bow at the end. And the colors that I used are limeade, red apple, and just white, all apple barrel paints. So the first thing I did was paint my wood round with the white paint. And I did a couple of coats of this, and I did the front and the back. Once I had that all painted and dry, I'm going to take the same paint and paint my welcome sign. And with the acrylic paint, it took a long time to paint the welcome sign, so I would recommend using chalk paint, but I still think it's going to take several coats to cover the welcome. If you have spray paint, you might be able to use that, and that might be a better fit. After I had both of those painted white, I'm going to paint 2 of my beads white, 2 of my beads green, and 2 of my beads red. And I just put them on the end of a paintbrush, and on the handle, I just slide them down, and then I paint them with the colors that they needed, because I'm not only doing a couple at a time. If I was doing more, I would use the baggy method. So now that I have all my beads painted, I'm going to set those aside and let those dry. And now I'm going to work on my wood round. So I'm going to separate my napkin so that I have just one layer. And then I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to put it all over my wood round, and then I'm going to let it dry. And I just used a heat gun to make sure that it was dry. Next, I'm going to place my napkin back onto the wood round. And then I'm going to use some parchment paper and an iron and use the iron method to attach this. And the iron method just helps get rid of all the wrinkles, and it works really well when you're working with something like this. Now that the napkin is attached, I'm just going to take the back of a paintbrush and just poke it through the holes that were already in the wood round. Then I'm going to take my sanding block and sand off all of the excess paper that's around the edges. Once I had that all done, I'm going to take some twine and I'm going to start stringing my beads onto it and tying it onto my hanger. So I did 1 red, 1 green, and 1 white on either side, and then I just tied them off in knots so that they wouldn't fall through, and I left the knots on the front side of the sign because I think they just add a little bit of character. And as you can see, I set the beads so I had them all in the same order on either side. And then I'm just going to, like I said, tie a knot. Then I'm just going to cut off the excess. Next, I'm going to flip the sign over, and I'm just going to put a little hot glue on the back to hold the hanger up so that the beads don't fall behind the sign. So I'm just going to add a little hot glue so that the beads sit right on the top of the sign. Next, I'm going to take and hot glue my welcome right to the center of the watermelon. I'm just going to add hot glue throughout the whole thing, and then I'm just going to press it down securely right in the center. If you're going to hang this in the direct sun, I suggest using like an E6000 plus your hot glue, because hot glue tends to pop off when it's hit in the direct sun. And look how cute that is already. And the final touches, I'm going to make a bow. So I'm just going to use a bunch of different ribbons that I had. So it was some buffalo check, some white and black sheer ribbons, some red and white ribbons, some green, some raffia, some pom-pom ribbon that I had. And then I'm going to tie it all off with a piece of twine. So I'm just going to add those ribbons in a crisscross shape. Then I'm going to add some of this pom-pom ribbon in a green and then in a white. And I just use small pieces because they're really just going to be for a decorative purpose. And then I'm going to take some raffia and put that on there. And then I'm just going to tie the whole thing off with a piece of twine. And once you have it all tied off, you're going to take your scissors and just kind of trim up all of the pieces that went all wiry when you were making it. You can pull it all apart and then just start trimming. So I trimmed a lot of the raffia because that stuff just gets really crazy sometimes. And then you can trim the ends so that they all match. And then I left the string that I tied it with the twine on the back because I'm going to use that to tie it right to the hanger. So I'm just going to use that leftover twine and tie that right to the twine that I used on the hanger, right underneath the beads. And then I'm going to take a little dab of glue just to secure the bow into place right onto the sign. And then for the very final touch, I found a green and white button that I had, and I just hot glued that right to the center of my bow. And then this sign is done. I think it turned out so super cute. I love all the colors. It's so bright and fun. And I can't believe that almost all of this came from Dollar Tree. How adorable is that? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this inspires you to make one. And as always, please don't forget to spread the chaos.